You are listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
what your mind can't conceive. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Incense summer and girls that swirl to the music. Nights over Egypt. Women Elohim wear veils to be seen by no one, no one, no one. Take a caravan across the Sudan, Sahara beside. It's just a mirage, oasis in the sand, where life once began under the moonlight. Moonlight, yeah. Your eyes won't believe what your mind can't conceive. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Incense and myrrh and girls that swirl to the music. Nights over Egypt.
just a kiss away from Montego Bay. Island summer on my mind. You're even in my dreams, my Caribbean king. Island summer on my mind. Sweet honey wine just to relax the mind. It took us on a natural high.
He's coming on the show
right.
soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot. I hope y'all out there are having a good weekend so far, and just thank you for tuning in. And we're very happy today because we have a special two fellas here with us today on today's show, and we're happy to be back, by the way, too, because we did have a nice little break, and so it's good to be back. But please help me welcome both Tre Balfour and also Max Viana from the band REDSTONE. Welcome, fellas.
Welcome, fellas.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Redstone in the house.
All right.
Glad to have you guys here. Good to see you. And
Good to be seen by you.
And of course, welcome back to the States, CTK. I know you've been away for a minute over there, and that.
Hey man, they keep me over there. They wanted me to stay till the 17th.
Is that right?
The wife wasn't having.
I hear you.
I was, and then I was going to go to Belgium. Yeah, they want to go to Belgium to stay the 17th. Well, I said no. It's time to come home. So gotta listen to the boss.
There you go.
That's it. Well, my goodness, REDSTONE. So both Max and Tre, fellas, welcome to the show, and it's good to have you on. And I'm interested in finding out about this band, man. How long you guys been at it together?
What, 7 months, Max?
About so, yeah. It came together about 7 months ago, and it's always wonderful when you when life pretty much dictates the journey that you're going through versus you trying to make things happen. We put it together, and things just started unfolding automatically on their own, doors opening, the right members coming in, everything just falling in place, the right gigs falling in place. It's almost like destined, was waiting to happen, and we found it.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on that, my fellas. It's a hard to keep it rolling like that these days. So
it is.
And keep it going. Please update us on what you got going on. I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
As well as I know Steve and Gary with the good hair is.
Yeah, man, it's great that you guys got it. And so tell us about the makeup of the band, the guys that you have in it, and then the type of music that you're playing.
Go ahead, Tre.
Okay, well, we are, first of all, we're a 5-piece band right now, and we're the principal members. It's myself on drums, Max, he's the producer and the MD, and we have Ronnie Paul, RP. RP's on vocals, lead vocals. C-Mac is on lead vocals, and Grant APB on keys. And it's kind of cool. Like, everyone has a nickname. It's we have our own identity, and it's really cool. And also APB also does vocals as well.
Yeah.
And we're a cover band playing the music that you love to hear, not that you like to hear. And eventually we will be doing original stuff.
Right.
But that's the makeup of the band, and then we'll hire out a guitar player when needed.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Guys. Vaughn, I know you had some questions too.
You know what? I was sitting back and before we came on live, Gary and I was having a conversation. And I was looking at Max's kind of like the way he, his bio. I wrote some notes and did the same thing for Tre. And you guys kind of like, because Max his lineage lends, credence to who he, what his music is from, He is the son of Javan.
Okay, come on.
Brazilian, legendary Brazilian musician. And so, and then Tre been in the drum and bugle corps since he was 8 years old. So, all of this, how it all came together at this juncture in time. And let me start with Trey first. Trey went from drummer bugle corps in Maryland.
Wow, yeah.
Then he got drummer bugle corps in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
Then he went from there to another drummer bugle corps in, let's see, was that OKC you played there? You was in?
Well, no, with that, I had moved to Oklahoma City.
Right.
And that's when I started attending Langston University.
Right.
And so there was no more corps after that.
Gotcha.
But then I got the music bug.
Okay.
I got the music bug.
Right. And that's when you started studying music then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blame my cousin Ronnie Balfour for getting me on this wagon, because he was signed with a band out of Oklahoma City. It was a joint venture of musicians from Tulsa and Oklahoma City, and they banded together, and they were called Colorblind, and they were signed to Capitol Records. And Ronnie was playing percussion, and my grandmother had been taking me to private drum lessons, and I'm looking at Ronnie. Now he's signed, he's with a band that's signed to Capitol playing percussion. I'm like, hey man, show me what you're doing, because that's what I want to do.
Right.
And that's how it started with me. So
Okay.
I blame him.
Well, it's nothing wrong with studying the art form,
Yeah.
and learning all
Oh, yeah.
this good stuff, because apparently it helped you out.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
You went from there to playing with different bands and stuff in LA,
After Five Jazz,
After
like
Five,
I give it,
yeah.
out of Oklahoma City, yeah.
And then you started doing stuff with Boys to Men.
After the way it went, it was After Five, then Color Me Bad.
Color Me Bad, okay, yeah.
Right. Then I was out in LA. Then one thing led to another. Lion King Parade, All for One,
Right.
Michael Bolton, Last Night Kashif, produced Jay Lamont, and did some television shows. But ironically enough, when Max's nickname is High, and that's a whole nother thing. But so if I call him High, that's who I'm talking about.
Okay.
What's really interesting, how life comes full circle. High was with the production team, Spider and Freeze, and he'll tell you all this stuff.
Right.
But they produced Color Me Bad's music, I Want to Sex You Up, and here I was playing, the same song, and when we hook up, we find out that that's what's happening. We look at each other and I'm like, wait, what? So
Wow.
it was like, man, everything is falling into place with this band. But continue, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay, because I like that little sidebar. I love that's information as well. you
Yeah.
know. And so let me jump into Max's box, because like I said, he's got lineage in Brazilian music. And I'm like, and I've heard some of your stuff. I listened to it last night, early on in your career. And you are a guitarist by profession, right?
Okay, so let me correct that. So the Max Viana that you found online is actually my cousin.
Oh.
But he looks very much like me.
Oh,
Tax
okay.
purposes.
Well, that's interesting.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so our original roots stem from Honduras. And from Honduras, we have lineage in Brazil, Puerto Rico, and Mexico.
Okay. Okay.
So from my father's side is all of the Vianas, which is what you researched.
Ah.
So I am my father's father was the first Max Viana, my grandfather. I was the one named after my grandfather. And then the rest of the Max Vianas were named after me.
Wow.
And this is the Max Viana that you found, a guitar player, very successful in Brazil.
Right.
And we also got Pegnada Viana. She's a MMA fighter. You'll find her. She's one of the champions of MMA. She's a
Wow.
female MMA. But on my bigger side of the music lineage from my mother's side, I am a Laborel, which you are familiar with, Abraham Laborel.
Laboria, yeah. Okay.
Well,
All right.
so
Great bass player. My gosh. Yeah.
And his son, Abe Jr., the drummer, he plays for Paul McCartney. My other cousin, Matt. Something people don't know about our family, Ice-T, the rapper. His DJ Evil Lee, that's also one of our cousins.
Okay.
He's a Spanish guy, that dark-skinned brother. He speaks Spanish. And, I mean, our lineage just goes on. My daughter, Erin Watley, Auntie Jody Watley, Jody's little sister, Michelle, is my daughter's mom. So it's all Andre Simone, the bass player, is her uncle.
Yeah.
The relation with Jody.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's
Now,
incredible.
That's
my
pretty
side-
crazy. That's what it is.
Yeah, so from my side, our family, as you know, the Laborellis, and now you know the Vianas, extremely gifted musicians. Our whole family comes from music. Early on, I think I was about 15 when I got my first hit record. I was in high school. So we got together, a partner of mine named Ross Sloan, Elliot Strait, Shamela Durant, and myself. We got together, we formed a production team called Spider-Man and Freeze. And we were in high school. I was a freshman in high school at the time. We were all in high school. And we managed to get hold of a manager named Hiram Hicks at the time that came in and represented our production team. And Hiram he had his foot solidly in the door with MCA and Uptown and so forth and so on. So in the early 90s, they called us in to start writing and because we were so advanced, man. We were like so ahead of the game. And we get together and we work on music, you know, and we didn't have much equipment. We were ping-ponging. You guys, I know you guys remember them days.
Yeah.
Tape decks and ping-ponging from cassette deck to cassette deck. And we couldn't even afford a little small 4-track cassette recorder, you know. Everybody was dreaming about that when the 8-track came out. Everybody was really like, whoa.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to, my freshman year in high school in LA, we placed a song called Poison on a group called BBD. So we wrote and produced Poison. That's the beginning of Poison. You hear Spider-Man and Freeze in full effect.
Okay.
You know? So that was our production company. Then from that we did Do Me Baby, I Thought It Was Me, pretty much all of the BBD hits.
Right.
So then our manager came to us and he said, hey, there's a label that just signed a group of cats that do jingles. And they're interested in having you guys write their music because everything you guys are doing right now is blowing up.
Yeah.
We established a sound that took over the 90s where at that time Teddy Riley was hot with New Jack Swing. We came in with Poison and changed the whole game. Now everybody was trying to sound like us.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were introduced to the guys, which was Color Me Bad. And we heard the guys out, they sung a cappella. And I believe we were at Jive Records at this meeting. And we heard the guys out, we played some music. And then we said, hey, let us go back and see if we can, and we're kids doing this stuff, you know? And we went back, man, and we wrote I Want to Sex You Up. And we wrote I Adore Mi Amor. and a couple other songs for them, you know, and we placed that on them, and it was placed on a New Jack City soundtrack. And
Wow.
of course,
Wow.
that's where people heard "Telling Me Bad" the first time.
Yeah, that
Right,
was
right.
that was an amazing
Right.
soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
And
No doubt
everybody
about it.
right
Yeah.
away was like, "Who is that group singing that particular song?" And
Right.
it was so catchy. Everybody was like, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
And that
And-
sound.
And
And
at
it was
the
a different
time,
And that
sound.
sound, yeah.
yeah. And also, and that was supposed to be a what we considered at that time a ballad style of Poison, because the beats that we were programming, like on "Sex You Up," it was you know, it was like that. We was really pushing that clap, you know,
Yeah.
that sound of that
That's
clap,
funny.
and we got that song placed. It like that summer, like it took off tremendously, and it helped that Ice-T had a hit off of that same record. You know, New Jack Swing, Hustler, Word Up with the Trigger. So my cousin was on that same album. You know,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then of course Levert and those guys was on there with For the Love of Money. Troop was on there. They were hot at the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
it was just an incredible cast of artists. But we were the thing. We were the new thing. And so people immediately started questioning who that group was because they loved this song so much. And to their surprise, it was 4 young dudes, 1 from LA, 3 from Brooklyn, you know, and we were all teenagers. And no one knew that Color Me Bad were, quote unquote, not black outside of one of the brothers, you know, one of the
Yeah, one brother will. Yeah.
one
That's
brother.
the one.
So
If
people
I
were
may-
thinking it was a black group, but purposely they marketed that way where they didn't want people to find out their nationalities till they found out.
Right.
If I may interject, sir, good sir, if I may interject this. Color Me Bad was doing some showcases back in the day in San Diego. Some earlier ones, I was on the show with them actually. And when they came out and they were singing, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm on the back of the room. I'm like,
yeah,
this is sound check. I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah, yeah. And
Come on, white dudes in there?
yeah,
There's some white boys in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's
No,
crazy,
but when they came to San Diego to do the show, they were slamming it.
yeah, yeah.
They made it so that you couldn't say anything about it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's because they were initially a jingle band. They would record, you know, radio jingles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was their background. And we gave them their hits, man. And ironically, Color Me, the Sex You Up sold 39 million copies.
Wow.
It broke Elvis Presley's record, longest song in Billboard chart history. I think eventually, if I'm not mistaken, Boyz II Men broke their record with I'll Make Love to You.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they broke their record in terms of longest song
Right.
in Billboard history.
Wow.
Then we got together, we did their single for their new album. And at this point, you know, it was a lot of, we were getting older, learning business. There was a lot of business cat and fighting going on. Even Color Me Bad got involved with that, where they started claiming they wrote stuff that they didn't. And
Right.
yeah, you know. And so we basically said, okay, well, if y'all wrote it, write your next album. And that's when we walked away. Meanwhile, at that point, everything went left for them. And here we are still writing hits. Now we're writing hits for Michael Jackson. We did Break of Dawn.
I like that track too.
Yeah, and then we did Good to Go. We did Another Bad Creation, Boyz II Men. I mean, it was our time. you know?
Right. Right.
It was our time, and what's ironic about my cousins is we all knew about each other. Obviously, you know, we're running the industry in different areas.
Right.
Yeah.
But we had physically never met. My cousin Abe, my uncle Abe, my cousin Matt, my cousin Evil, my cousin, like we had never met.
Wow.
And it was a funeral. One of our uncles passed away. And this is one of those uncles that was close with every sector of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So family members flew from, when I tell you, from all over the country to this funeral.
I can believe it.
So my older brother, he was a choreographer, and he used to go to this place back in the day out here called the REDSTONE, which was where they shot the movie Breaking and Beach Street and all that. And so that was like a happening spot for teenagers, and that's where after school they all go over there and break dance and blah 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 blah. And so my cousin Evil and Ice-T and those guys were always there spinning. So my brother, he was a popular dancer at the time there. So they were like, "Hey man, what's up with you?" They knew each other by first name, not even knowing all those years that we were related. So we get to the funeral, and at the funeral, my brother sees Evil and Hannon goes, "Hey man, you Evil E and NG be with Ice-T at the radio trying, yeah, you Mario." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, you know somebody here? My uncle died. You dating one of my cousins or something?" And then they said, "Well, my uncle died too." And that's eventually how we found out that we were related. And later in the years, of course, we established powerful relation with each other, and we worked on some albums together, and then we started working with Ice. I mean, it just, the resume just, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. It all in all, almost 39 platinum albums.
Wow.
And
Right.
Wow.
more platinum than gold.
Amazing.
Wow.
And
That is
so
amazing.
it was crazy because, and I'll tell you this quick story. We in the 91, 92, a partner, well, DeBarge was over my home, and we were working on some stuff. We were putting a group together, and it was my older brother, myself, and Mark DeBarge. And so we submitted stuff to MCA. Madeline Randolph was the A&R person at MCA at the time. And so Madeline wanted to sign us so bad. And she was having some controversy, trying to get us in, but she kept trying to get us in more as writers because of our history. And one day we was in a studio at my place, and Mark says, "Hey man, let's take a break. Let's go out and just enjoy ourselves." So we're like, cool. So we went to the comedy club. We get to the comedy club, and one of our buddies one of Mark DeBarge's cousins says, "Hey, Jody's little sister is coming over." Well, we had a friend named Jody that we was working on. It was a guy named Jody that we was working on. So when he said Jody's little sister is coming, I assumed my homeboy Jody's sister was going to join.
Right.
So sure enough, she gets there, and we locked eyes right away. We flirting with each other across the table. Long story short, we exchanged numbers, and we eventually became an item, and then we had a child named Aaron, which is a talented young singer and musician, amazing. I got to turn on to you guys for an interview one day soon.
Yeah.
And so one day I'm in the studio with Jody again, and I don't want to tell him I'm dating his sister. Because at this point, she's damn near pregnant, And, so I'm like, I ain't going to tell Jody this. Break up our friendship. So Michelle says to me, "Hey, look, my sister is having a Thanksgiving dinner, and she wants to meet you." And so I'm like, all right, that's cool. Jody knew all about us because of our history with music. But again, I'm thinking you know, it's my homeboy. But at this point, she's telling me her sister want to meet me, but she's not telling me her sister is named Jody. She's just saying my sister.
Okay.
So we're in the car. We're headed up Las Feliz Hills, and as we're pulling up, I see this guy getting off of this motorcycle, this Harley Davidson, and I'm like, "Yo, stop the car! Stop!" I said, "That's my favorite bass player. That's Andre Simone." You know, I'm probably 18 at this point. I'm like, "That's Andre Simone." So she looked at me. She stops the car. She's not telling me anything. So I get out the car, run up to him. And I'm like, "Hey, man, you Andre Simone?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours." I'm giving him his resume. I'm telling him his whole resume.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Cool, man." So then he goes, "Y'all coming in?" So I look at her. I'm like, "Hey, Andre Simone lives in his house. He's invited." And I'm still not even knowing that's where we're going. So we walk inside of their home, and then Jody comes out, and I look at Jody, and I look at Michelle, and I look at Andre, and then I said, "I'm going to my sister's house." Jody, my boys come to my mind, and I'm like, I put two and two together right there. I was like, "You Jody's sister?" And then she was like, "Yeah." And so they never told me because, you know, they wanted to make sure that, you know, I was with her for her and not because of her family affiliation.
Right.
Have you? And it just became a big family, man. So
Wow.
that's it.
Wow.
Great. That's a great story.
That is cool.
That is amazing.
Huh.
That is amazing.
Yeah. But
One
yeah,
other question I need to ask you for a second. What high school did you go to?
I went to Manual Arts in Los Angeles.
Manual Arts.
Yes, sir. I'm a
Here we go,
toilet.
trigger time.
Yeah, I'm a toilet for life. Representing
Still on Vermont Avenue.
That's it, brother. It ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I went to Manual and graduated from there, man. Left a musical legacy there. You know, in fact, when time to time, I haven't been in a while, but I would visit, and it's crazy because they in the hallway, they keep like a legacy of people that graduated from there that
Right.
went on to do some big things. I'm still on that board, yeah.
Oh, you should be. You should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And to give some props to my Viana family, there is another Max Viana that you'll find that's a very famous radio DJ. So he's on a power station in Brazil.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so all of Vianas are related. We're all related. So, and
But
if you go on my Facebook, I'm sorry.
That talent is all blended down
Yeah.
into the family, man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
If you
to hear
visit
that
my
story.
Facebook, you'll find a mixture of all the Vianas and all the Labarellas. You'll just see them all in there, all mixed up in there. Yeah.
That's wonderful, man.
That
That's
is
wonderful.
Yeah, I had a question.
Wow.
I was when y'all were talking about, you know, how Color Me Bad really got going. Trey, now was those fellas, were all of the members from Color Me Bad, were they from Oklahoma City?
They were all from Oklahoma City. Yeah, and
Wow.
and the two musicians, the musical director, Hamza Lee, and myself were from Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma City at the time, yeah. So
Yes.
you knew the guys before then?
Yes, we had crossed paths. Put it like that. I didn't know them personally. They didn't know me personally. But we had crossed paths.
Yeah.
Playing in clubs and opening up
Right.
for people. This is what, when I was with After Five. Yeah,
Wow.
man.
I wonder what connection, or how did they end up getting connected to you guys out there with Max? I mean, how did that all?
Well, that went down through A&R at Jive Records.
Oh, okay.
Ivan Hicks. Hey, there's a new band. Jive is putting together, and
Or was it Jive or Giant? I think it may have been Giant.
it must have been Giant or Jive. It was one of them.
It was Giant. It was Giant Records.
It was
Okay.
one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, there was so many labels, man. They had Giant Jive, they had Electra, they had
Yeah.
Geffen, they had Pendulum Electra, they had
Right.
it was
Maverick.
Maverick,
Bungalow.
Yeah.
That
Man.
was the era
Labels.
of a lot of independent labels being born, you know.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but it was them, and uh, you know, we would submit, man. It's crazy because one day we were at our rehearsal with Redstone, and I had a DAT player on the stage at the studio, and I literally, man, I had DAT everywhere. And all the guys walked in and they're like, dude, you got a DAT player? And I'm like, yeah, man. I said, I still got this bag. I have this leather bag that's full of DATs.
Hmm.
I said, this is the bag I used to shop with. You
That
know,
was the high-tech standard.
yeah. And I'm sitting there playing songs after songs after songs, and I'm playing unreleased Michael Jackson stuff for Trey, and just all
Yeah.
kind of stuff, man.
And you can hear Michael's voice on it. And I'm tripping.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, we had. I'm playing them Tupac records we did.
Man.
Just all kind of stuff, man. But it was crazy how we crossed paths because so I own this studio, so video production studio, which is where we rehearse at. That's our headquarters for Redstone. And it has a stage and all the equipment and all that good stuff and lighting, and you know, you can do a tiny desk up in there.
Nice.
Right.
And so a band, I had posted it on a website called Pure Space,
Space.
where people go on there and pretty much it's like a Airbnb but for businesses.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And so if you're looking to shoot a video somewhere or looking to rent a place for a meeting or whatever, that's where you'll find that at.
Got it.
And so this band contacted me and they were like, hey, we want to book the place for a rehearsal. And I was like, yeah, you know. So I vetted them and they panned out. And so they came in for rehearsal and they fell in love with my establishment. Or should I say our establishment? And about the second rehearsal, they were like, hey man, we want you to join the band. And I was like, I don't really have the time for it. They're like, hey man, just at least be the engineer, something. And I was like, you know what? I'll think about it. So eventually I gave it some thought and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll rock with you guys, you know? And so I got with those guys. And so I brought up to their attention, I said, hey man, look, I said, you know, you guys ever considered including click tracks to your band? That way it sounds fuller. They said, yeah, man, we got a partner that recommended that, and he actually worked on some click tracks for us. And I was like, okay. I said, can I hear him? So they said, we'll call him and tell him to send them over to you. I was like, all right. So he sent me the tracks, and I was like, okay, damn, he matched the tracks pretty. It was a Frankie Beverly tribute band, where the singer looks just like Frankie. It was all Frankie stuff, right?
Huh.
And so the click tracks sounded like the whole Frankie Get Down. So I got him, I put him in Ableton, and then I removed the drums because we had a drummer. I removed the keyboards because we had keyboard players. I left all the auxiliary parts, and the guitar player learned this part, so I took the guitars out, and we had it filled up very nicely. And so we started gigging, man, and people was loving it. Maxine Waters came about, joined on the team as far as management. So she had us doing all her political gigs. And so finally, they said to me, hey, the guy that did the click tracks is coming through. He's gonna stop by. I was like, cool. And sure enough, halfway through the rehearsal, short dude walks in there with a trench coat and a hat, brim hat, you know, it was like a pimp. I look over and I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? Max goes, hey, man, Tre Balfour. And it was Trey. So Trey said, man, I didn't know this was here. And I said, man, I didn't know we have somebody in town that's doing click tracks, man. And he's like, oh, you know about that? I'm like, man, I can't do without it. He said, man, I can't. He said, man, I can't do without it either, man. So I said, oh, man. So we locked in, bro.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Locked
Feed it
in,
to me,
bro.
feed it to me, feed me the click,
Yeah.
feed me the track, feed me the
So
track.
we exchanged numbers, man. And about 3 months later or so, we were in a rehearsal and they wanted to replace the drummer, which was a mutual friend of Trey and mine.
Okay.
And so they wanted to replace the drummer. He wasn't used to playing with clicks. He was new to the click thing. So kind of staying in pocket was kind of hard for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bass player quit because, you know, him not being able to keep up with the clicks. And then we got a new bass player, and they're like, yeah, Trey sent this bass player over here. So now the bass player came about, and then we needed a new keyboard player, and a new keyboard player came in. They were like, Trey sent the keyboard player. So I'm like, this Trey dude connected with all these musicians, man, you know? And I'm talking about solid cats, man. I mean, cats who do their stuff, man. Keyboard player, man, you play a song, and he just hear it like that, and he'll be like, G sharp 7, minor 9, blah, blah. He just started calling it out without even touching the keys.
Yeah, Rain Man guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And you get to it, man, and it's exactly what he said. I mean, hard brother, right? So when they said, hey, we need a drummer, I said to the band manager, I said, why don't we call Trey in? You know? And he's like, who's Trey? And I'm like thinking to myself, he on your payroll, you don't know who Trey is? So
This is true.
meanwhile, the drummer don't want to let go of his position. He's not ready to let go. So, you know, he started doing things where Trey wouldn't come in so that Trey wouldn't basically take his gig. So, you know, I saw that, you know, it was one of them things where he was passionate about his music. And for the first time, he was finally part of something that was looking like something.
Right.
And now you're being told to drop the sticks and come join management. So we did a gig for Maxine Waters. And at the end of the gig, you know, I was like, okay, I think I'm done. So we had this meeting, and I told the guys I was done. And it was, you know, some issues, stuff happened. And so I quit the band. And that very night when I quit the band, I had this itch. It was the bug. And so I picked up the phone and I called our guitar player because we had rehearsed that night. And then they dismissed the musicians early, and it was me and the 3 head guys that stayed, the management, where we had this discussion that led to me quitting the band. And of course, they were all upset about me quitting and this, that. But the band at this point didn't know I had quit. They left rehearsal already.
Right.
So I knew the guitar player from a while ago. So I called him. I said, hey, Jess. I said, I'm no longer in the band. He said, why, Max? I said, hey, look, that's never here, there. You know, I think I want to go about my way. And wish you good, you know, wish you luck over there, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So a couple of days later, I get a call from him. And he's like, hey, man, I'm no longer in the band. So when he called me and told me that, I was like, So I said, hold on. So I called Trey, and Trey's like, yo, what's up, man? And I'm like, yo, Trey, me and Justin quit the band. We thinking about putting something together. Ding, 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 ding. And Trey was like, okay, what's your idea? I said, I'm thinking you're the guy. So Trey was like, And he said, you know what? I think I would like to do something like that. So we met the next day, Trey and I, and we had this conversation. It felt good, man. The vibe felt good, the energy. And we said, so you down? We're going to put it together? He says, let's do it. Hour later, we get a call from the guitar player. He goes, hey, man, my wife doesn't want me to quit the band. So I'm going to give the guys another shot. And, you know, I'm just being upfront. I'm being transparent with you. We said, hey, baby, we appreciate you, man. No problem. So Trey and I was like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll put it together. We'll figure it. So a week later, he calls back and he goes, hey, it ain't working out, man. I want to join you guys. So he came in, man. I'm talking about a cat. You give him the music, man. And he'll learn it just like the record. I mean, note for note for note.
Solos, everything.
Everything, man.
Wow.
Everything.
And so one of the things that I always said from my history as an MD, and I know I'm talking a lot, guys, but hopefully the story is satisfying to people.
Yeah,
no, that's good. That's
One of the things that in my history as an MD with some of the, the big bands, whatever, was always play the music the way people remember it.
Right.
A lot of musicians, we have this thing where it's like, let's do this to it, let's make it ours. And I'm a believer that we can still make it ours without taking it away from them.
Right.
And by them, I don't mean the band, I mean the public,
Right.
Because they got, one day Quincy Jones told me a hit ain't a hit until it's a hit. And I never understood that as a teenager when he said that to me. Because I was bouncing to my own music in the studio. Louis Johnson sitting there looking at me, smiling, and he's like, that's my protege. And Quincy in there looking at me, smiling. And I said, Papa Quincy, this is a hit. This is a hit. And he whispered in my ear, a hit ain't a hit until it's a hit. He never told me what that meant. But once I started understanding, it's not us that make it a hit. It's the consumer.
It's the consumer.
When I understood that, I started producing and writing hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got a mentality in the mentality of getting to know the consumer's way of thinking versus the creative side. And so I applied that to the band. I told the guys, I said, look, we got to play the music the way people remember it. Because the minute they hear those immediate notes, that intro, right away, it's going to take them back to high school. It's going to take them back to their first love. It's going to take them back to remembering when their grandma was alive, when their dad was alive, when their uncle that lift weights in the backyard, the buff one, y'all know what I'm talking about, used to play the music in the back. Like, all of this is gone. It doesn't exist no more. So we got to allow them to relive it through music.
Yep.
And Trey said, man, I'm with you with that. So we started rehearsing all the music, man, playing it just like it. We had cats come in, and right away, I look at Trey and I shake my head like, they ain't the one. And then eventually, man, the right cats, God just started sending the right cats, and everybody's like, they were in bands, coming in to fill in, and they quitting their bands because they're like, I ain't leaving this.
Right. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
It's funny. The two singers, they were in my old band, One Blue Shoe, and we, like C-Mac, we had lost touch with each other, but I always kept C-Mac in the back of my head for something. Like, okay, this is the perfect gig for C-Mac. This is the perfect thing, and I told I'm like, hey man, I got a cat that could do this. And the cool thing about C-Mac is, and I'm telling him, like, he doesn't look like an R&B singer.
No, that boy looked like he about to, hey, is that
White-
got track trailer tonight?
White cat, beard, tatted, it looks like a biker.
Yeah.
The man will sing Jodeci under the table,
Wow.
stuff like that. He can sing that,
Wow.
that, as he said, that's his wheelhouse. Not saying he'll sing,
We call it the secret weapon.
right. I'm not saying that he'll sing Jodeci under the house, but I'm saying he's got that vibe.
Right.
He can sing that. That's his thing. and people look at him like, what? And then RP, you know, we had always, you know, we're from the same town, and I finally, you know, I was like, hey man, here's the deal. We had another singer, but who was going out a lot, and we understood that was his gig. He was a principal member in this gig, and we're still trying to find our vocal identity as a band. And RP came in, and basically he was just coming in to be a sub for the other cat who was out on tour. And RP, he's hearing the band, and he's turning to me, he's like, man, is this you guys a sound? You know, because we've got that big, because Hi and I, we come from the big stage. So we've got that big stage sound in a small venue.
Yeah.
Not loud or obnoxious, but
just
with the
full.
stems, the track, everything, the click,
The best way, the way I always describe it is when we start playing a song, it's like if we play Don't Be Cruel, you start looking around to see if Bobby Brown is going to come out the backstage and start singing it. Right. Because we sound like his band.
Nice.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
If we play a Commodore song, you're like, okay, they're the musicians for the, and then, because we sound like their band.
Right.
We don't sound like a band is covering something. We sound like the band.
Wow.
Right.
And that's purposely. Go ahead.
Right. Right. So, you know, with that being said, Ronnie was on board from, you know, and he was like, hey, man, we were in the studio last night talking about having a good time. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, when I heard y'all, I'm like, okay, I'm subbing, but that's going to change.
Whoever I'm subbing for just lost their job. That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, and beautiful cats, man. That it's really a brotherhood. We clown all the time. I put it like this, even RP said, man, you gotta have thick skin being in Redstone, because we clown. we clown it, man. Being in this band ain't for the weak, man. But it's all out of love.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
no doubt. Now you
It's a band. It's a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you
I've
mentioned
been in a lot of bands and we clowned each other a lot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Right.
the band I was with was like, we was like together 12 years, and there's a lot of clowns.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, people leave the stage, leave off the gig, leave the stage.
Yeah.
How heavy it was, but yeah.
Yeah, but we're there for each other, man. We, you know, and it's beautiful, and it's the cool thing about it is, it's like RP. I called him. He was like on his way out. He was retired. He was retired, and C-Mac, he wasn't really doing anything, and Hi wasn't really doing anything. You know, he was with the other group, but he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But with me, I was the guy that was still involved. I was still gigging around town, keeping the chops up, blah, 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 blah. So I still had access to all these cats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Hi didn't know any of them. And I didn't know Justin. Good night. That's who's the guitarist.
Oh, okay.
Hi, you got some.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
I'm switching phone.
Got you. So, you know, it all worked out, and it's really exciting to have another. It's like another chance, another breath at this music thing at our age, and we're still making people move and enjoy ourselves. And we've got our IG, and we've got our website, and we're trying to take it to. I've got 10% remaining on my battery. You guys there?
Yeah.
I have to go get my charger, but.
This is go ahead, Trey. Get
All
your
right, let me go
charger.
get my charger. I'll be right back.
Okay. Cool.
This is where the turn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was saying I'm surprised Gary didn't take that time to go out and give us something to listen to while he got his battery charged. But that's cool too. So
Yeah. It's all good.
You know, as covers, we're this is where the term that our slogan for the band came about. We play the music that you love, not the music that you like,
Right.
because it was reminding people of playing the music just like the record. So now what we're doing is we're working on our reel, our band reel. So we've been in the studio recreating all the music for the reel.
Okay.
And here's an example, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
So audio's taking over. We're not.
I can't hear.
Yeah, neither can I.
It's Zoom usually does that. It's not good with the audio algorithms.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll send you guys the tracks, and then
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
you'll get a
Definitely work.
chance to play them. But when we play the tracks, man, right off the top, you're trying to figure out if it's still. In fact, you'll think it's the original artist.
Mm-hmm.
Even as they start singing, you'll have to catch certain notes to be like, wait a minute, I don't remember that. Wait, being in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize, oh wait, wow, these guys are. So it's one of the things that we do, man. It's just play the songs the way people remember them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, are y'all also working on something original for your group?
Yeah.
We will be.
Mhm.
Yep, we will be. We will be.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Okay, so a good friend of mine, Dee Dee James, who was the guitarist in Color Me Bad when we were together touring.
Yeah.
And he also worked with George Clinton and Bootsy. Dee Dee had expressed something to me. We got in contact. And this was probably about a year and a half. And, we had lost touch. And he said, Trey, I'm not ever playing any more original music. I'm doing covers because I'm able to make money.
Mm.
And I thought, I'm like, interesting, because with me a long time ago, even when I was in Oklahoma, it was like, I don't want to be a cover band. But then again, when I was with Bolton, it was like, this is just a high priced cover band.
Mm-hmm.
Not Michael, not knocking Michael, because he had some originals in his show, but Sitting on the Dock of the Bay,
Yeah.
and Lean on Me, and there was a lot of covers that he did,
Right.
and it made me change my thought process of looking at the music that I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, it's like I tell my students, it's the music business.
Yeah.
Music business. Business is the bigger word. So I thought, wow. And it wasn't until me and Hyde hooked up, and coming from the same cloth, it's like, okay. And he helped me realize that, yeah, man, covers, it's okay. Play the record, play the song just like the record.
Yeah.
Make these people happy. So I'm like, yeah, that's two people, Dee Dee and Hyde, telling me this. So it's like, okay, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So we started handling our business. We went out and got the LLC. We got the email. He's got the server. And the reason why I call him High is because he's got a high IQ. That's because, and he's high tech. He did our website. He did, all of this stuff. And we bring what we bring together to the table. It's kind of like the whole Black Wall Street type of thing, Tulsa, Oklahoma, coming together as a community.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that no one's tripping on anything. We all have our special abilities to
Right.
bring to the table.
Yeah.
You know,
that we all admire and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important.
That's beautiful.
You know, I couldn't do this without him. He can do it without me. We all, and that's the beauty of this, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
You good? As one of my students walks in.
All right.
Yeah, and you know,
I'm only in a meeting.
And the guys in the band, great spirited guys, man. They come ready every time. Very importantly for those watching, the guys they're very good at taking constructive criticism.
Oh, absolutely.
We tell them they may have an idea of wanting to do it one way, and we say, hey, no, do it this way because of the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay. And they do it, and it shows when we perform. This last show that we did, so we were doing the fairgrounds, and we got to our second set. People were still showing up. By the time we got to our second set, and we start playing those songs, they hit the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the song was over, they grabbed a woman's hand and they so-called walking off the floor. And before they can get off the floor, we start the new song. They stop and they look at each other and they go right back to the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the fourth song was in, they were standing there, just waiting for looking at us, waiting for the next one.
Right.
And then once the intros come in and they recognize what it is, they're screaming and they holding their chest doing this and singing, man, and this is like, this is why we do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing it back. Yes.
Yeah. And our playlist, you know, it goes from, you know, Come Together by, we do Gary Clark Jr.'s version, to New Edition, to the Eagles, to the System, Hall & Oates, to Suavemente, to, oh my gosh, Sailing by Christopher Cross.
Mm-hmm.
So we cover the spectrum.
Yeah,
as far
wide
as
range
music.
there. Mm-hmm.
Very wide range. Absolutely.
It lets you know. I got to add this because this is incredible. This part right here, because I'm thinking like when you said that you know, it's a hit. It's not a hit until it's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that thing rings so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're talking about music that is like 30, 40, 50 years old.
Come on.
You're going way back.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing about it is, there's a lot of us still around, us baby boomers.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've watched it when I would help out. I'm with a nonprofit here in Atlanta. A gentleman has a nonprofit organization called Yes Jazz Matters. And they do a lot of performances at some of these parks around in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm out there helping him out. And, you know, we do a podcast as well. So I'm broadcasting live from the event. And usually they have a DJ there to kind of like, you know, get people motivated and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I sit there and I'm listening to the DJ and he puts on like anything by the Gap Band or anything by this, you know, the Whispers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Prince.
people are dancing. And I'm talking about people in their late 40s,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
50s,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in their
60s.
60s.
Yeah.
And they bring
Old school
their teenage daughters with them and sons, and they looking at them like, Mom, Dad, what are y'all doing?
Right.
They in the, you know, they are like partying like it's 1999 out there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And so I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't matter how old you are. Those songs don't die.
That's right.
You know, like I always said, great music has no expiration date.
Absolutely right.
You know, and them
Absolutely
people
right.
love it. And I said, man, cover bands would be, I mean, woo. If y'all would, I mean, if it was more like y'all, can you imagine what kind of impact y'all would have on a city on a regular?
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
And
crazy.
we're trying to do that. We're trying to do that.
Yeah, and you know, it's crazy because with all positivity, there's always a side of negativity.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it's the part that a lot of people never talk about, particularly when we have interviews like this. But when you're doing something right, and you guys as musicians, y'all know this. When you're doing something right, there will always be somebody to try to find something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and I say that because you and this is why a lot of times I do everything strategically. And a lot of, you know, the cats in the band, they're learning me more and more and more. And so we're always in the studio and we're clowning and I'm getting under their nerves. I got everybody laughing at you and you in the booth singing and you're looking at us through the screen like, why are they laughing at me? And you just get hot. But I do that because if you can't handle us,
Right.
when you know that it's coming from a good place, then you're not going to handle the criticism from the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so there's always musicians that want to find a fault in everything you do.
Yeah.
We did a show, incredible show. You guys probably see the footage online. It's a consortium of songs that we put from the show. You'll see it on either on our website or on our IG or Facebook, whatever. And a guy comes on and he comments. He says, "I'm trying to figure out something along the lines." He said, "I'm trying to figure out, did you guys want the drums played like that? There's a lot of ghost notes that are missing." Exactly. Ghost notes on drums.
What the?
Okay.
Exactly.
Come
But
on,
hold
from a
on.
trumpet player,
But-
that sounds very weird.
Exactly.
But hold on. The song did not have live drums on it. The song had drum programming
From an overhead.
that had no velocity sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So there were no ghost notes to be applied.
Exactly.
So go ahead, High.
Because back then, when the Oberheim drum machine was out, remember, you hit that pad, you was gonna hear the sound.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the MP where you can hit it soft and it'd get lower and hit it harder.
Right.
The Oberheim, it was like, ah. And that was the drum machine that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis used on If It Isn't Love. And so I told Trey, I said, don't respond to that. I said, don't respond to that. I said, let me respond to that. So I went on there and I said, hey, I said, ghost notes. I said, on a song that didn't have any live drums, it was programmed by a drum machine that had no touch sensitivity or velocity at the time. And I said, I said, I don't think that I agree. And then I said, take it from a person that worked with New Edition and BBD.
Take that.
And I said, they gave them some of their biggest hits.
Oh, that hurt.
And then I posted a picture with me and the guys from with those guys. I posted a picture with me and them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy had commented, and when he saw the picture with me and the guys, and he took his comment down so quick. And then I told Trey, I said, Trey, I said, part of the fans' job is to fight for you. You don't have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Sure enough,
And I didn't.
and he didn't. And sure enough, fans went up there, ghost notes. These guys are incredible. What do you must not even own a pair of drumsticks.
Oh, there you go.
Squirrels and roaches. I mean, they started putting all kinds of stuff.
They broke out the torches.
But you know,
There's
and this
always
is
that element, you know, there's always that element of a hater
right.
coming in trying to
Belittle what you do and not give you the value that it's worth.
Par for the course. Par for the course. And I had told High, you know, it's like, and I tell my students here, if you're being hated, that means you're doing something.
You're doing something right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That is, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
and I want to say that the fan even said everything they're doing right, but you choose to find something wrong instead of complimenting them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the fan said, something along that line.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that comes with the territory, you know.
Right.
It does.
I got thick skin. You know, hey, it's all good. I'm the drummer for REDSTONE, not him.
Hello.
I got the gig.
Touche, brother. Touche.
You know,
You don't want to load that stuff in your car, not
right. Thank you.
You know? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good, man. It's been good, and good things are happening. We've got a lot of promoters. Well, not a whole lot, but a great deal of promoters have been in our inboxes and our email,
Yeah.
wanting to book us.
Mm-hmm.
Different fans that want to book us for special occasions, and a lot of good compliments, inspiring compliments that just keep us going. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the blessings, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's like we came out of nowhere, but they don't realize that we've been at this for 7 months, rehearsing every Monday.
A lot of people don't realize that kind of thing about musicians, you know. Oh, wow, overnight sensation.
Yeah.
No, you guys been in the making for a couple centuries at least.
Right. It's like, where have you guys been? Rehearsing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I never heard of you. You never looked, did you?
And then
That's
we
right.
got
That's
very
right.
quickly we got people that are literally following us to every gig.
I believe that. I can
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
That's
gig
cool.
we do, it's like, oh wow. And what we try to do as servicemen, we try to remember their names so that we can, greet them in person, or we'll call them out from the mic, let them know that they're special to us. And,
Right.
Indeed.
I got to ask this question. Tell me, when you do, if you do a song by, like Chicago, if you're bringing that up, you guys like pull in a horn section?
Yeah. Well, what we do is we record all of our
recording the horn
sections
parts?
in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We record all of, but we authentically record our horns.
Perfect.
So they're not.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. They're not keyboard played. We're authentically bringing in a section or a couple guys that know what they're doing, and Trey will write out the sheet music for it, or I will. And those guys will get on there and knock it out.
Yeah.
You guys are set. I didn't need to ask that question. I just kind of knew, because I looked at that time period. You required authenticity.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I look at. I mean, because like you said, people want to hear it when they heard it the first time.
The way they heard it the first
The way
time.
they heard it the first time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very important.
And I can appreciate that because I'm in the programming radio station right now.
Nice.
And I try to find the correct mix. I try to find the correct balance because I'm playing classic jazz.
Yeah.
I'm playing contemporary. I'm playing progressive. I'm playing fusion. I'm playing what I call sophisticated vocals.
Yeah.
Right.
I try to find that mesh. And I think I've done pretty good.
Awesome.
And so, and it's all authentic. I don't, I mean, there are covers by some great, jazz musicians in there, but I try to go for the original.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
I try
like
to
if
go
you
for the
hear
original.
our cover of "They'll Never Be" by Switch,
Okay.
and you hear our horn section, you would be like, "What?"
I love the beginning of that because how they swell.
Yeah.
We have that whole thing
Swells
in our
at the
cover.
beginning and then
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, in our cover,
Yeah.
we have that whole
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not link at the end. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played just like that, man. In fact, when we had a bass player at one point that came to fill in for a guy for us, because our guy had to go to hospital, and we had a bass player fill in, and when he was playing along with our playlist, and he just kept looking at us, shaking his head.
He lost his mind. He's like, man, you guys are playing the hits.
He said, dude, your playlist is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful journey, man.
And that's what it is, a journey. Yep.
Mhm. That
And
is.
to answer your question, Gary, from earlier, we are definitely gonna do some covers. Right now, we're pretty much deciding because of our age, demographics. We're thinking of obviously the ballad thing is gonna be a thing in a mid temp, but we're thinking a lot of stepping songs kind of thing.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, man, that's awesome, man. I know y'all gonna do great because,
Oh, yeah.
like I said, that's the music a lot of us appreciate, man, and it's just great to have somebody out there keeping it alive, you know. Everything. Yeah. Well, what time we got here?
I need to say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna put Gary on the spot.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Trey,
Yes, sir.
have you ever heard of any Gary's music?
Man, come on, man. Absolutely. Man, look. So I don't know. Me, Gary, and myself, we go back at least 25 years, Gary.
Yeah.
Maybe 30.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I'll put it to you this way.
No
I
doubt.
think CTK and I are being treated wrongly. he only lets out one song
Man, Gary's a cold
every
cat, man,
like
on
every
that
6
guitar.
months. He'll let out one song out of
Gary
that.
drops
out of
a
that
song
library.
every 5 minutes.
Man,
Drops a video every 30 minutes.
and look, and I was telling Hi about Gary, man, you know, because I thought that Gary was out in LA. I'm like, no, man, he's in Oklahoma, and he's successful. He's got his radio show that was even over in Europe that you can pick up. You know, can be picked up. You know, and so Gary, man, thank you for being a platform.
Oh yeah.
Having this platform for cats like us.
Mhm.
You know, and CTK. Vaughn, man, thank you for being a part of this as well, man. Thank you.
That's
Really.
why Gary got
Oh,
that Inthrop Award. I'm gonna keep bringing that up every chance I can.
You know?
Inthrop Award recipient.
Hey, man. Yeah, I've seen the program go through changes with the loss of 2 important people.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, man.
And you know, I gotta throw this in. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Ray Mack.
Yo,
yeah,
man.
It wasn't with
He
Ray Mack.
was very instrumental with After 5 Jazz.
Yeah,
man.
he was.
It's
He
just
was.
like,
Well, on Trip, man, you seem to be the Ricky Smiley of Gary's show. But you look like him.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
And you look like Terrence Howard. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
hey, man. Hey,
You ain't
man,
gonna
this
make
the
me
radio.
cry, man.
This the radio, man.
Hey, no, band ain't learning it, man.
Yeah, man.
There's a guy roaming around the internet right now, man, where he doing those skits. With I don't know if y'all seen him.
I saw him.
Oh man, hilarious. And he sounds just like him too. He's like, hey
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And you see him crying when he talking, hey man.
Right. Got his hair in braids. Football.
All right.
That's funny. Oh man.
Gentlemen, I need to split, you know, be out here with these kids now.
Yeah.
But you know, Hi, go ahead and handle it, man. I'm passing the ball off to you.
Well, it's been
All
a
right.
pleasure meeting you, Trey.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a pleasure, my brother.
Yeah, Trey.
All right,
It's
man.
Okay.
been a
Trey.
pleasure, brother.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yes.
you again.
Okay.
And don't be a
absolutely.
stranger.
Okay, I promise I won't. I promise. All right, guys.
Okay,
Bye, everybody.
man.
Later.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Yeah.
Might have to go, man. Come back, man.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. But that's what it is, man. So we've been having a good time, man, and it's you know when like I tell the guys when you're having fun and it doesn't feel like a job,
Mm-hmm.
then you can really enjoy the creativity of it. You know, which is
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely.
No truer words have been spoken.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's where we've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys travel much around the country with the band?
Not yet. We do have quite a few inquiries about us traveling
Okay.
to OKC. We have a couple of people that inquired of us going out to ATL.
Wonderful.
Las Vegas got in contact with us recently
Wow.
about Regency,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a residency.
Residency, yeah.
Residency. Yeah.
Yeah, residency.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. That
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Really
Because they
is.
need something like y'all out there, man. Vegas is dying. They need something like y'all back out there, you know?
Mm-hmm. How'd you come up with the name Redstone? It's a pretty cool name.
Good question, man.
Good
So,
question.
I'm a church man. You know, I gave my life to Christ, man, some years ago, and
Amen. Amen, brother. Amen.
yeah, and you know, just getting deep into the Word and getting deep into God, man.
Right.
One of the things that I wanted to establish was having a foundation, a principle that's led by God.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes.
And you know, and for me, it was like being covered by the blood,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the red came about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Blood, that's right.
and then you know, light is music. You know, and the art of sound is light going fast,
Fast.
creating sound.
Dig it. Yeah.
You know, and of course, being grounded, the Bible represents it as a stone. You know, on this rock I will build my
Build my
church. You know,
Yeah.
That's right.
and so for me, it wasn't building my church as in a congregation. It was really building my church as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
and so I was like, you know, we're covered by the blood. We're grounded.
Yeah.
We're on a solid ground. And that's where you get the music notes from the sound, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the logo is a red rock with the
Yeah.
music notes.
Mm-hmm.
Check that
So-
out.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
So
It's
I
very
said,
nice.
you know what? Redstone.
Yes.
And so when I brought it up to the guys, they were like, dude, I love it. I love it. And so Trey, he started trying to come up with a logo, and he's the one that came up with the actual logo for the group
Okay.
that we ran with. So let me see if I have the actual logo here. Show you guys. Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's beautiful.
Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then of course we eventually put it in stone. With
Right
the,
in the stone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and the stone is on the O. It's the O.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works. It definitely
That's
works.
where that came about. That's where it came about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do a lot of graphic work yourself, don't you?
Yeah. I'm a software engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He told us why they call you high.
Yeah, I'm a software engineer. I write software and design and all that good stuff. And
That's awesome.
you know,
Yeah. Gary's doing that visual arts thing himself, so you
oh,
know.
it's fun.
I
It's
love
fun.
it. That's fun, ain't it?
Man, let me tell you, for me, it's been an extension of music
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
another
That's
form of creativity, and
Yeah.
it uses the same outlet, the same people to hear your music, the same people to see your graphics
Mm-hmm.
and see your creativity, and you know, respond to your creativity the same way they respond to your music. So it's all tied in. You
It
know?
is tired.
All tied in.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So a lot of people.
Question, if I could. You also being a well accomplished producer, and you like the high tech stuff. I get that. I'm just wondering, have you heard anything about the God particle.
The who?
A God particle. It's a mastering app now that's supposed to be coming out or supposed to be out. That's supposed to be saving these independent artists from sending their stuff out to be mastered. I don't know if it's snake oil or whatever, but I just wondered if you've heard of it. And I know it's still kind of new out there. Have you heard of the?
It's I know it's a plugin.
Yeah.
It's a plugin that you add to your DAW that allows you to master. But with all honesty, it's not much different than mastering applications like Isotope, where it's a plugin and it basically they have the Isotope audio mastering plugin.
Right. That's
And
right.
that one,
It's good, ain't it?
they should have named it the God Particle.
You know.
Okay. Now the reason why I asked that is because Ram Lee called me this morning from the original Phoenix Horns. He's a bully. He calls me from time to time, and he was telling me about that. He says, "Hey, have you heard of the God Particle?" Right? He said, "Go check it out. Go check it out." Right?
Yeah.
Because he was playing some stuff that he had did. So I was wondering if you had heard anything about it or had any insight on it at all.
No, not as of yet, but I will research it today. What I do know though is that nowadays there's like you have some apps, man, that are high end mastering apps.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then you have these apps nowadays that are I call them toys. They look like a toy, sound like a toy, and for a certain type of music, like the mumble rap and a mumble singing, those lighter version apps are perfect.
Yeah.
But if you were to apply that to a song
Right.
of more mature crowd or more musicians, it'll act the way it'll be night and day.
Right.
Because it wouldn't just give you that separation that you need. It wouldn't give you that, because a lot of the music that we do deals with headroom.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music that the younger cats do, they disrespect headroom. They use it all.
Yeah.
Is it all? Yeah.
And so when we take our apps, the more I would say commercial apps to make records, they don't so much work so well with the congested stuff.
Right.
And when you take theirs, because like they're mastering records now, man, with reverb.
Yeah, that's weird. Now, see, that right there tells me that you're familiar with the Harrison mix bus.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that sucker. I love that.
Beautiful. And it looks just like the Harrison console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the built-in compressors as well.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to turn this to a tech talk, guys. I just knew he knew some of that, so I just wanted to ask him a question about that. But I'm gonna pull that trigger on that mix bus. I'm gonna tell you that though.
Yeah.
But
it's a beautiful console, and if you add a real good audio card to that, where you can have your separation, that thing performs like an actual physical console. Yeah.
There you go. That's good advice, man. Because you know how Freesounds is shutting everybody down on the mixers. And they shut mine down too, man. I said, do I have to buy a new mixer now?
Yeah.
And then when I saw the mix bus and just a good audio device, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I still use a mixture of digital and analog on a lot of things. Like, for example, my console, I use the Behringer Wing. The wings, the touchscreen wing.
Yes.
What I do is when I plug my Pro Tools system to it, it treats all of the channels like the actual channels on Pro Tools. So it gives me full control of being able to, to adjust the faders to the smallest increment.
Right.
And it has a lot of built-in plugins, man, that emulate a lot of great classic plugins. In addition to that, I have the UAD. I have UAD cards where I purchased certain plugins like the Manley compressors, the Manley preamps, the Manley tube compress because they warm stuff up almost very well.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that
And
nice
then,
one.
yeah, and then I still use a lot of the upper range Wave products, you know, like the Wave Rack and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's that in itself is a monster too.
Yeah.
A lot of cats they just go with a Apollo twin or something UAD twin or something, and they just run it out of 2 tracks, man, and 2 speakers, and they consider themselves making records, but that's a big difference, man.
Right.
Now you was mentioning your click tracks. Now that's probably what you were running your click tracks to. What was the Max Bus? Were you probably like doing some editing with that as far as the click tracks?
No, so we have another console. I have the Behringer X32 as well.
Yeah.
And so the way I run, so there's several ways you can run a click, you know. So a lot of cats, what they do is they may take a device, an iPad, a phone, or a computer. They'll have a stereo audio card, and they'll pan their click and their cues to the left, and they'll pan all of their tracks to the right. So they'll push them out of 2 channels, and that suffices, you know, if you want to do something quick, you know. But the way I do it, which is the way I've done it when I was on the big stage with the Chris Browns and the Nexus and whatever, I set my console up as an audio card first. So I use the Behringer because it gives me 32 channels of audio. And I can even use my auxiliaries as additional channels if I need to. When I plug that either USB or through Dante to my computer, well, now what happens when I open up Ableton Live, because we use that for live performances, I'm able to take the bass guitar and say, send bass to channel 1. Send the keyboards left and right to 3 and 4. Send the horns, because they're mono, send them to channel 2. Then, you know, our backgrounds to 31 and 32. So, et cetera, et cetera. So what it does is I'm able to now to take every sound and treat it like I'm recording a record. Like
exactly, yeah.
I can just turn one thing up. I'm not stuck with a left and right track where I turn it down, everything goes down. I set my click on its own track. I set my cues on their own track. So if I need to turn up, somebody needs to hear more cues, intro, 2, 3, I turn that up higher, and it doesn't affect the rest of the mix. And it gives me the ability to really have complete separation over every single track. And one trick I do is sometimes if our bass player can't make it, I bring the bass amp and I set it on stage where he would normally be. And then I run the bass out of a bus, out of the console, into the bass amp, like if it was a bass guitar. And when I hit play on the track, the bass is coming out of the bass amp.
Oh,
that's
sweet.
That's one of the reasons why Behringer has been so overly looked. Hello. That's one of the reasons why Behringer has been so overlooked, because of the workhorse that it is, and people, they got to get the new stuff. You got to get the new stuff. Give me a 32 analog Behringer anytime, brother. But yes, I like the way you run that to to its own bus, right into the amp. That's crazy.
And all of a sudden it's like it's coming out of the amp, so it feels like there was a bass player there. And I may take a guitar amp and put it on the other side and run another bus with just the acoustic guitar, and now you hear the acoustic guitar coming out of that amp. So it gives you the feel that there's really a guitar player there, really a bass player on this side. It gives you that real feel, you know, like
Yeah, you want to feel the fingertips hit you in the face.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
That's cool.
and it's separated versus just panning a guitar to the right or you know, it gives you that real separation. So that's how we would do it with a lot of big bands, and it gives it a real live, fully live feel, especially when all of the live musicians are incorporated. And then the other thing that I do is a lot of cats add the musicians to the track. I add the track to the musician.
Musician. You know, I really appreciate you sharing your IO setups with us, bro. Because this is, to me, this is priceless.
It is.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I add the track to the musicians. It's like,
I like that.
a lot of time my rehearsals, I turn the track off, tell the guys play it, and I go over all the parts with just the musicians with no track.
Right.
Because I like to make sure that all the guys know their parts. Anything happens, track stops, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right.
So I don't like them hiding behind the tracks. So I blend the tracks to the musicianship.
There you go. Great, brilliant idea. Brilliant. Brilliant thing. I love it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of good stuff, man. You know, especially when you start. And that's why they say we have a big sound, because I incorporate a lot of the stuff that I did on the big stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even on a small venue.
Mm-hmm.
So when musicians show up, they can really appreciate that. They're like shaking their heads.
Oh yeah.
Like wow.
Oh yeah. Because you're putting them in that submersive sound.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea right there, is to put them in that submersive sound environment.
Music is beautiful, man.
It is, isn't it?
And I never want to interpret music outside of that view.
Exactly.
I want people to see it the way it was intended.
Yeah.
That I want them to feel its beauty and understand its beauty, and even if you don't understand it, you can feel its emotion of the original architect of the music, you know, the sound, the music itself. So I try to always give the original architect of that song, not to erase him out of his composition. You know? So like I tell guys, play it like we were playing it for this guy. You know? And there's a reason behind that too. You know, you might be on a stage right when they've been doing a cover gig and Stevie's in the audience.
Yeah.
And he's hearing you play his song the way he's used to hearing it.
Yeah.
And Stevie's like, I'm doing a gig in LA. I found my musicians.
Not the way he was cringing during the music honors when he was in the audience and they were playing his song. And he was like,
yeah. You know, you play it the way he would be like, okay, you know what? I found my musicians for the next gig here in LA.
There you go.
Every time they come to LA, they're like, call REDSTONE.
There you go. There you go. And that's how it works.
Yeah, and it's another avenue of marketing. Because they'll call you when they, you know, when they're in town and they need to put together a band for their show, and they're like, those guys know my stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The go-to guys. You need your go-to guys.
Yeah.
In every town. So yes, absolutely.
So no, we cover the Frankie Beverly, the Whispers, Gap Band. We go even with the to the left, to the left, to the left, to the now switch, now switch.
Right, you gotta have that.
Oh, you gotta have that for OG.
Yeah.
OG.
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
We do all that, man. You know, to Case.
That dirty South stuff too. Yeah.
The Case, to High Five with I Like the Way.
Oh yeah.
To New Edition, If It Isn't Love, Can You Stand the Rain? We even play some Joe songs. It's amazing how you knock me off my feet. All that stuff, man.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
All good.
And you know that stuff doesn't, like I said, it's immortal. It's immortality. it has a long lasting life.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
so it's I don't know. I have to go from my childhood
Yeah.
in the early 60s all the way up until the mid 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's some things that kind of sneak through that I kind of have an affinity for. But other than that, it's
Yeah.
very rare that anything into the 2000s
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
any legs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you the question, Max. You were talking about, you know, how much you respect the composer of the song and how you think he would want to hear it, you know, like he did when he wrote it.
Yeah.
We're never going back to that again, are we?
Yeah. You know, I tell all the guys at every rehearsal, I tell them all, you hear this phrase come out of my mouth a lot. Respect the music. I tell them that all the time. Respect the music, respect the artist, and respect the space. So when I first started saying respect the space, they looked at me like, what are you talking about? And so at our rehearsals, there's always a learning lesson because I take my experience and I share it, I teach it. You know, it's not every day you get to meet someone that has done it on that level.
Right.
From the success of writing and producing to the success of MDing on a big stage, you know?
Right.
And so very few cats have experienced Chucky Booker. Yeah, we can go around certain cats that have experienced that, you know?
What's your MD for O'Neal?
No, I was for Next. For Next, all at Too Close Butter Love. I did
Right,
Chris
right.
Brown, Chris Brown.
Okay.
You know, so I tell the guys respect the space. Why do I say that? Because it's so easy as a musician, and we all know this, to all of a sudden get carried away and start doing too much. And so I have this tactic where I'll write the sheet music out. And I know all the guys can't read sheet music. And that's my tactic. And I always lay it at everybody's, you know, section. So then when they start doing too much, I say, play it like it's written in front of you.
Yeah.
So they'll look at me crazy, right?
Yeah.
They'll look at me crazy and they'll be like, man, you know I don't read. And I said, I know you don't read, man. And I tell them, well, that's the thing. I said, the way it's written, it was written to give the bass player his respect.
Right.
It was written to give their horn player their respect,
Right.
That's right.
the keyboard player their respect,
That's
the
right.
drummer. Right there, you don't need to say nothing because that simple glitch,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
meant
no
to
arguing.
be
No
quiet
room for arguing.
You don't argue
so
with
that
it.
we can appreciate that. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but you're singing on top of that, or you're trying to play something on top of that. You're disrespecting that musician.
That's right.
And I tell them, if everybody respects the musical space, I tell them, I guarantee you, you'll be rewarded when you perform it in front of the people.
Right.
The crowd will show you how much they love it and appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Amen. That's right. That's right.
And so they do it that way, man. And we got a singer, the white boy that we have, Craig C-Mac, and great vocalist, man. And
Is that the bearded guy?
yeah, the bearded cat.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of times because he's of a different nationality, playing quote unquote black compositions. I call it black compositions because I don't consider it black music. I consider music for the world, but it was composed by a black person. So quote unquote performing a black composition, a lot of times when you're from a different culture, you feel that you have to oversing or overplay to prove that you belong.
Yeah, yeah. I get it.
Wow.
And so I tell them, I
Well
said,
said.
It's deep, but yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
it.
deep,
You
but
speaking the truth, preacher. You preaching,
simple
preacher.
things, man, make a big difference in music.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And I tell them, I said, that's not necessary, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the fact that you are in this band lets people know you know what you're doing.
Yeah, look at Color Me Bad, right?
So the fact that you are one of the lead singers of this band must say that you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have brothers try to join the band that didn't make the band.
Yeah.
Brothers. And it wasn't that they couldn't sing. We had brothers that could run circles around him, but they didn't fit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the perfect fit, you know?
Yeah.
So I tell him, I said, respect the space, respect the author, and respect the integrity of the music, you know? And if you do that, you'll learn that music becomes easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work so hard, you know? And everybody's appreciated.
The Lord said, don't toil. Do not toil.
Yeah, and I tell them all the time, appreciate your keyboard player, appreciate your drummer,
Yes.
appreciate your vocalist.
Yes.
Just literally appreciate everything, and you'll give everybody their necessary
See,
space.
that's the thing about, you know, the music itself, because I learned that from jazz musicians.
Come on.
You know, they're not in it for you know, they're in it to support each other.
That's
Exactly.
You know, that's it.
That's it.
They're in it to support each other.
They smile at each other.
That's right. They
When
do.
they hear the next guy do something cold, they look at each other and be like, I hear you.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
They appreciate
No
stuff.
better feeling than that right there.
Come
No
on, brother.
better feeling than that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, applause from an audience is great, but applause from your fellow band members.
They be looking at, yeah, man, you got it.
Yeah,
right.
like, okay, I hear you, you know. I heard it. If they didn't hear it, I heard it. You know? and then it's cold when they come back around the second time and they try to do it with you.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Better act
That's
like
true.
they're not listening, but wait for the second time
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, you heard it because you're trying to do it. Okay, I got you.
Well, Max, man, it's been such a treat, man, to have you and Trey both on today, man.
Thank you.
It was just great to hear this about the band, and I know that it's going to be successful because you guys are, you know, like I said, I heard a little bit of the some of
The videos.
the videos, yeah. So I know you guys are doing it. So keep it up, and again, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. And as soon as we release these cover videos, because we're doing a video to every cover song,
Cool.
we'll
Okay.
be releasing them, you know, REDSTONE cover, whatever the title is.
Mm-hmm.
We shoot them your way. That way you
Okay.
guys can share them around.
That'll work.
That'll work.
That'll definitely work.
Okay. Well, I guess about this time to wrap things up. But again, I want to appreciate all of our viewers and listeners that tuned in today. And then, and again, Max and Trey, we appreciate you both. So with that said, I'm just gonna turn it over to CTK and Vaughn take us out for the day.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, sure.
If you guys want to follow REDSTONE, you can go to REDSTONE
There you go.
Music. And
Yeah.
that's REDSTONE Music with a Z and a Q. MUZIQ.
Yeah.
Music. REDSTONE Music. On all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. It's the same tag. REDSTONE Music.
Okay.
Got it.
MUZIQ, right?
Well, I would like to say, sir, it's been an absolute honor, and I want to thank you and Trey for your great musical contributions that you have set forth, and that is inlaid in our history and our growing up. And stuff.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
it's just been a great honor to have you as a guest today. I hope to talk to you further. Thanks for giving us some of the inside
Yeah.
of what a hit maker you might use or his methods in the studio. We appreciate that little insight as well, man. And as far as REDSTONE goes, man, I love you, man.
Good to hear, man.
Keep her, man. Stay
I
in touch,
got you, brother.
stay in touch, man. But God bless you guys, man. And thanks for coming on. It's a pleasure meeting you.
God bless you guys.
Well,
Thank
Max, I want to say thank you, brother. It's been a pleasure. let me tell you, you opened up a door because all I did was ask you about your family, and you just took off running, bro. And I appreciate that because, you know, to us, Gary, myself, CTK, it's all about you guys.
Yes.
It's all about you guys and the ladies that be here as well. So, you know, it's important for you all to get your story out. And I appreciate it because you gave me a piece of history. I mean,
Yeah.
think about
Thank
the
you.
songs that you took part in and work on.
Thank you.
I know.
Legendary. And we're still listening to them today.
And please come
And we'll
back.
continue
Please
to.
come back.
That's the thing.
Mhm.
Only God, man. Only God, you know. So
Hey, who else could it be?
Come
Who
on.
else could it be?
Just never trust a green-eyed girl. That's all I
never
But
trust
I
a big butt
appreciate
and a
you, man.
smile.
Say what now?
That never trust a big butt and a
A
smile.
big button and a smile. That's right. That's right.
Just keep doing what you're doing, bro. You know, and you know, just let us know when you get ready to start traveling. Atlanta's got to hear y'all. Atlanta's got to hear y'all, man.
If we make it out to the West Coast,
And when you
What
come
part
to
of the
when
West
you come
Coast?
and when you come to OKC, I'll be here.
right.
We actually working on that now.
Cool.
OKC is literally what we're working on now.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right. Looking
So
forward.
we got a couple promoters down that way that's already working some things for us.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be ready.
And I'm gonna say this like I normally say it, and you're old enough to should know this. In the words of one Mr. Lamont Sanford, Odabo Jack.
Come on, bro.
All right, everybody.
guys,
Peace out. Everybody have a great weekend.
have a great weekend, guys.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull.